Hello everyone, today we're going to learn about the solar system. As you know, the Sun is a star, one of many stars that form the Milky Way. But for us, it's the most important star shining in the sky. Planets move around the Sun, and so do comets and asteroids. Well, the Sun and everything that revolves around it is what we call the solar system. The most interesting things that we should know about the solar system are the planets. Let's look at them, starting with the ones closest to the Sun and then getting further away. The closest planet to the Sun is Mercury. Then there is Venus. Then comes the Earth, yes, our planet where we live. Then there is Mars, Jupiter, the largest planet, Saturn, Uranus, and then the furthest away is Neptune. As you can see, Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars are closer to the Sun and also smaller than Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune. One important thing you should know is that the journey that all planets make around the Sun is called an orbit. Now a question. Do you know where the days of the week get their names from? Well, if we think about it for a minute, the Moon, which is not actually a planet itself, but Earth's natural satellite, gives its name to Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday come from ancient British gods that were related to the planets Mars, Mercury, Jupiter and Venus. Saturday gets its name from Saturn, and of course the Sun itself gives us the name Sunday. So if you remember that there is also Uranus, Neptune and our own Earth, then you know all the names of the 8 planets in the solar system. Easy, eh?
Look at space. Look at the universe. Have you ever asked yourself exactly what stars are? The stars are huge gas spheres that shine in the darkness of space. During clear nights, we can see thousands of stars in the sky. But there are many more that we can't see because they are very far away. All stars, along with the rest of the celestial bodies found in the sky, including the space that is found between them, form part of the universe. We have already said that even though stars are very far away, we can still see some of them from the Earth. Chemical reactions occur in them, releasing huge amounts of energy. And that is why we can see them. This energy emits light, and that is why stars shine so much. Just as people, stars change as they get older. We can say they are first born, then they grow, and lastly they then disappear. But don't worry, because stars live thousands of millions of years. The life of a star starts when various clouds of gas and dust accumulate in a single cloud, grows and grows. First, they are called young stars because they continuously keep growing and they get hotter and brighter. But when the hydrogen that form parts of the star and its main fuel starts to run out, the star becomes smaller and smaller until it stops shining. This is when we say the star is dead. Galaxies are complexes formed by millions of stars that get closer to one another due to gravity. Seen from very far away, we can observe that galaxies have diverse shapes. Irregular galaxies don't have a certain shape and are composed in its majority by young stars. Elliptic galaxies have, as its name suggests, an elliptical shape, like this one you can see in the picture. The majority of the stars that form part of this galaxy are in the last phase of their life. Spiral galaxies look like a disk with arms. They are composed of young stars, although some old stars may be found in them. And inside this group are galaxies found. Do you know what our galaxy is called? Well, it's called the Milky Way. And in one of its arms, the solar system, and of course, planet Earth is found. In the Milky Way, there are more than 100,000 stars, including the most important for us, the Sun. Well, now we know a little bit more about the universe, the stars and the galaxies.
The Sun is a star, an enormous sphere of extremely hot gas which is continuously shining and spinning around. It seems much bigger and brighter than any other star, but that is only because our planet is close to it, more so than to any other star. The Sun is in the center of our system, and that's why we call it the solar system. And all the planets in it revolve around the Sun. It has been shining in space for more than 4.5 billion years. Yup, I said B for billion. And scientists claim it will continue to do so for another 5 billion years. It's incredible! The Sun is composed of gas. The majority of this gas is hydrogen and helium, though there is also some carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen. It shines so brightly and transmits so much energy because in its interior they are atomic reactions, which turn the hydrogen into helium. To give you an idea, the surface temperature on the Sun is 5,800 degrees Celsius. In only 1 second, more energy is released from the Sun than that which has been consumed by all humanity so far, just in 1 second. Compared to the Earth, the Sun is enormous. 1,300,000 planets the size of our Earth can fit inside the Sun. It is also very far from our planet. Do you know how long it would take us to get to the Sun? Well, considering that the Sun is 150 million kilometers away, if we would travel from the Earth to the Sun by car at a speed of 100 kilometers an hour, we would take 170 years to get there. Though the light that the Sun emits doesn't take that long to get to the Earth. It takes only 8 minutes for the light to travel from the moment it leaves the Sun till it reaches our planet. That's 300,000 kilometers per second. It's absolutely mind-blowing. It can circle the world 7 times in 1 second. There is most definitely nothing faster than light. So now we have learnt a little more about the Sun, our star, and about light.
The Earth is the third planet from the Sun. And it has a unique characteristic that no other planet we know has. It's the only one that has life on it. Life of all types, plants, animals. Its average temperature is 15 degrees Celsius, and because our planet also has water and an atmosphere, it is the perfect place for life. Like other planets of the solar system, the Earth moves in 2 different ways. One is called rotation, and the other is called revolution. Rotation is the movement of the Earth on its own axis. Rotate means to turn, so the Earth turns around a slightly inclined imaginary line that joins the two poles called the axis. Do you know how long it takes to make a complete turn? It takes 24 hours to make one rotation. Think about it for a second. One day and night together, lasts 24 hours too. So the movement of rotation causes day and night. Interesting, right? Now let's see the movement of revolution. As you can see in the pictures, the Earth goes around the Sun in an elliptical orbit. That might sound a little strange, but if you look, you'll see it's simply the journey that the Earth makes around the Sun. Do you know how long it takes the Earth to make a complete revolution around the Sun? Well, it takes 365 days. Exactly 1 year. This revolution movement is what makes the spring with its colourful flowers, the hot summer full of fun, the autumn when leaves fall from the trees to the ground, and the cold and frosty winter. So let's remember the two kinds of movement that the Earth makes. There is rotation, which is the Earth turning around itself, causing day and night, which lasts exactly 24 hours, the same as a whole day. And there is revolution, which is the Earth travelling around the Sun, which takes 365 days and causes the seasons.
The Moon is the only satellite that rotates around our planet, and it takes 28 days to completely go around the Earth. But do we know what a satellite is? A natural satellite is any kind of celestial body that rotates, or actually orbits around the planet. The Moon is never still. It moves in two ways. It has a movement of rotation and a movement of translation. That is to say, it rotates around the Earth. The duration of the movement of rotation and translation is 28 days. Because it takes the same amount to rotate on its own axis and to completely go around the Earth, the Moon always shows us the same face. When we observe the Moon along a period of time, it appears to change shape. These changes in appearance are called lunar phases, and they repeat every 28 days. There are 4. Full moon, first quarter, new moon, and last quarter. The moon phases are produced by 2 reasons: the movement of the moon around the Earth, and because the moon reflects light from the sun as a mirror. New moon. In this phase, the moon is passing between the Earth and the sun. The illuminated face of the moon is facing the opposite direction to Earth. The dark side ends up facing the Earth, and this is why we cannot see the moon. First quarter. You can see approximately 1 week after the new moon. One half of the illuminated side faces the Earth. It is called the first quarter because from the new moon phase, the zone illuminated by the sun grows every time. Full moon. Approximately a week after the first quarter, we can see the whole moon illuminated. The Earth is between the moon and the sun, and we can see it fully. Last quarter. The moon presents its other half phase illuminated. The name from the last quarter comes from the fact that the illuminated side becomes smaller and smaller each time. A very easy trick to know whether the moon is in its first or last quarter is the following. If the moon has the shape of a C, it is in the last quarter. And if it has the shape of a D, it is in the first quarter. So now you know, the moon has 4 phases. New moon, first quarter, full moon, and last quarter. Now we are going to learn a few facts about the moon. Do you know the distance between the moon and the Earth? Although it looks as it's not very far away, the moon is about 385,000 kilometers from the Earth. Another very interesting fact is that a rocket takes 3 days to get to the moon. It's incredible, isn't it? The first astronaut that stepped on the moon was Neil Armstrong. And this very important accomplishment occurred in the year 1969 aboard on the Apollo 11 rocket. The moon is 4 times smaller than the Earth, which is very important for the sustainability of life in our planet. The moon generates tides. Do you know what a tide is? A tide is the rise and fall of the sea level. They occur every 6 hours approximately. Well, now you know a little bit more about the moon. Very interesting, right?
There are 2 types of eclipses: a solar eclipse and a lunar eclipse. But first, do you know what an eclipse is? An eclipse occurs when an astronomical object is temporarily obscured. Sometimes the Earth is placed between the Sun and the Moon. And other times, the Moon is situated between the Earth and the Sun. These are eclipses. But let's investigate it better. The lunar eclipse is when the Earth is situated between the Moon and the Sun, making the Earth block out the Sun's rays, which would be shining on the Moon, creating a shadow and darkening it. This phenomenon allows us to see the Moon in a reddish color, almost as if it were bleeding. Lunar eclipses are quite frequent and can be seen from any part of the world at nighttime. They last various hours and can be of different types, though the most frequent ones are the partial lunar eclipse and the total lunar eclipse. When there is an eclipse and it looks as if someone has taken a bite out of the Moon, it is a partial lunar eclipse. And when there is an eclipse and one can see the whole Moon, it is a total eclipse. Easy, don't you think? By the way, to observe a lunar eclipse, one doesn't need anything special. A normal telescope or binoculars would do. Solar eclipses only occur when there's a new moon, and it is seen when the moon is between the Earth and the Sun. The moon hides all the sun's light, or at least part of it. Solar eclipses can be of different types: total, partial, or annular. A total solar eclipse is when the moon hides all of the sun's light and the sun's face disappears behind the moon. In the middle of the day, it would seem as if night has fallen. The sky darkens and stars appear. Many animals think it's nighttime and go to sleep. And nocturnal animals, such as this owl, begin their day, actually their night, not understanding that in a short time the sun will reappear. Partial solar eclipses occur when the moon comes between the Earth and the Sun, but not completely, leaving part of the sun visible. The day becomes slightly darker and the sun resembles a cookie with a chunk missing. An annular solar eclipse occurs when the moon hides only the middle of the sun. It is seen as a black circle surrounding a bright ring. It looks like a ring, doesn't it? By the way, and this is really important, it is very dangerous to observe solar eclipses without any special eye protection. Please remember this, as it is extremely harmful. Well, now we know a little more about eclipses. Don't you think it's fascinating learning new things?